Hello, welcome back to Everything Swift. Today we'll be tackling Leetcode question 118 titled Pascal's Triangle. We are given an integer parameter named numRows and we're supposed to return a nested array of integers. Now to understand this question, it will be easier to just look at this illustration here and understand what's the requirement, right? What we can see from this animation diagram here is that in the Pascal's triangle, each row has number 1 at the beginning and starting index, right? 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 and 1, 1 and 1. So we know that the starting and the ending index of each row has to be 1, right? And everything else in between is basically the sum of the previous row's number, two numbers from the previous row, right? 1 and 2 gives us 3, 2 and 1 gives us 3, and then 1 and 3 gives us 4, 3 and 3 gives us 6, 3 and 1 gives us 4, right? So I think we kind of like get the gist of the requirement here. Let's try and code it out and see whether my explanation is clearer. So I'm just going to do a fast optimization here. I think in Leetcode practice, usually we will not encounter this, but I think in the real world scenario, it can be, and it's just my habit to write this for optimization purposes. So if the num of rows, num rows equals to 0, we can just immediately exit from this function here, right? Because there's no operation required for us to do. So we can just set the results array here, which is 1. And this is representing the first row. And this is also the array that we are going to return the result, right? What we're going to do next is basically we're going to look through the num rows. Don't understand why they call it num rows rather than num of rows, but that's just me. So we're going to start at index 1 because we already have the first number, and then we just look all the way to the number that's required, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to get the previous row, and the previous row is basically just the results, right? Results is basically just representing the rows that we're going to build in this for loop. So the previous row is basically the index minus 1 because we want to get the previous row. And then we're going to set up the current row, which is 1 as well, right? Because the first index has to be 1 and the last index has to be 1. So we're going to set up the current row to be 1 at the first index, and then we're going to build this j1 all the way to I. Okay, and what we're going to do here is we're going to get the first number, which is the previous row of j minus 1 actually. Let the second number equals to previous row of j, right? Then current row append first number plus second number, right? After that, we can just append 1, and then results append current row. So that should be the answer, but I just want to explain that this for loop here is basically setting up the numbers in between, right? So we can see here we start off by setting the number 1 and the starting index, and then we add append 1 to get the last index. But everything else in between, we are basically getting the numbers from the previous row. Alright, so that's why we created these constants here. We're getting the number from the previous row, two numbers like 1 and 2, 2 and 1, as we can see in this animation here, and then we just add it into the current row. So for instance, like this, looking at this animation here, so this the first index is 1, and then we get 2, first number plus second number will get us 2, and then we append 1, and then we continue back the for loop. We'll get like 1 and 2 will gives us 3, 2 and 1 gives us 3, and then yeah, the loop just keeps continuing until this we exit out from this main for loop here, and we should get our answer. Let's try and run this. There we go. Let's try and submit this. Hopefully that works. And there we have it. That's the solution for this question. I hope you guys find this kind of videos helpful. If you do, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. I'll be doing more videos from here on now. So thank you for your time. Have a good day. Bye bye.